Next, we're going to look at the dimming module. In the demo case, we have the HDL MD0403.432. That's a 4-channel leading edge dimmer. The same options can be found in the universal dimmer, except the universal dimmer also has trailing edge option. The first page of the dimmer shows the 4 channels. If you have a 2-channel dimmer, it will show 2 channels, and if you have a 6-channel dimmer, it will show 6 channels. You have the channel number, the name, low limit, high limit, max level, curve, and a box to turn the light on and off. First, let's put the name of the light. Light 1 and light 2. We always recommend to put the name of the light. This means you can remember which circuit is connected when you are remotely logged in, or if you came back another time and didn't have your documents with you. Regarding the other options, the low limit is a percentage from 0 to 100. That means when the lamp dims from 0 up, it will start dimming at the low limit. If I put 20, it will start from 0, then dim up instantly to 20% and then continue dimming up. This is useful if you have a problem light which is flickering at low levels. You can put the low limit at the percentage just above the problem. It is also a solution for some lamps that have a soft start which don't turn on until there is 100% power. You can play with the low limit to fix these problems. In normal operation, leave the low limit at 0. The high limit is the setting for when the dimmer reaches maximum, it will jump to 100%. If you put the high limit at, for example, 80%, it will dim up to 80 and then jump to 100%. If you dim down from 100%, it will go from 100 directly to 80 and then dim down. Again, this is for problem lamps that have any kind of issue above in a top range of dimming. It could also be used if the lamp has no difference between the 80 and 100%. That gives a better result. In normal operation, we suggest to just use 100. The max level allows you to limit the maximum output of the dimmer. Normally this is, of course, 100%, but maybe you wish to limit that. This can be to save energy or reduce the amount of power. Typically, we recommend to leave this at 100%, but you can use a different value if you wish. Lastly, we have the dimming curve. A straight dimming curve is 1.0. Some lamps have bad dimming curves. When you try to dim up and dim down, it's very difficult to see the dimming. You can try the different curve. If you have a very bad dimming curve on the lamp, you can try curve number 3. Remember, if you have the same lamp throughout the whole property, you should change all of them to the same dimming curve at the end of your project. For now, we'll leave this at curve 1.0. Use the buttons to test the lamps. So let's press this button and see that the lamp is going on. 1 and 2. When you have finished, press save. If you have overloading problem or a hot room, you can check the temperature. Press the read temperature and you can see the running temperature within the dimmer. 30 degrees is within the operating limits. You can check the datasheet for the maximum operating temperature. If the temperature is too high, the dimmer will dim the lights down automatically. If you are in the US, make sure to select 110 voltage. Everywhere else with normal voltage, select 220. It's not necessary to broadcast the channel state every 5 seconds. In some cases, this may be desirable. Let's program one light from the keypad. We close the dimmer and we remember the subnet and the device ID of 9. we'll open the DLP, select the page, select button number 1, give the name light 1, select the mode, single on off, and press save. Now select the target setting, press read, and type the details of the dimmer, subnet 1, device 9, and the type should be single channel control for one channel. Now we can put the channel number and the intensity, typically 100. Because this is a dimmer, we can use the running time to have a soft start. We have the minutes and the seconds. Let's put 2 seconds to give a nice soft on and press save. Now we can already press the button. The light came on and the light goes off with a soft on and a soft off. If we want to control 2 lights, we can select combination on off and press save. We can use the target setting and type from 1 to 2. There is a maximum of 99 commands, and all of the commands will be used even if you can't see them. But for now, we can use 2. You can copy the first one and paste the second one. So now we have 2 commands. Press on, 2 lights go on, press off, 2 lights go off. If you want to disable that again, make it invalid and press save. Let's make this a single on-off for this exercise. Please note, if you press and hold the button, the light will dim. Each time you press and hold, the light will dim a different direction. When you let go, the light will stay in this dim level. When you press and hold on a DLP, you also get the plus sign and the minus sign at the bottom of the screen. You can use this to adjust the light to your perfect level. The option for dimming from the buttons can be changed in button status. In button status, we have some information we can change. Status indicator means that the feedback light will be enabled when the light is on. When we tick the dimming box, we enable the dimming function. If you untick this, then dimming will not happen. Dimming value is an optional feature. This means if you dim the light down, let's give an example. Now the light is very low. Perhaps this is somebody's bedroom. If we turn the light off and back on again, the light will only come back to the low level. Normally, with dimming value disabled, the light will always come back to 100%. Lastly, on the DLP, you may see there is this double key option. If you enable double key for the buttons and press save, you'll notice the buttons go a different color: yellow, green, pink, and blue. This means you only need to program button 1, 3, 5, and 7, and the keypad will become a 4-button keypad. That means if you press on the left or the right, it is the same. Buttons 1 and 2 are the same, 3 and 4 are the same, 5 and 6 are the same, 7 and 8 are the same. Some people prefer to use the keypad in this way. Now we're going to go back to the dimmer to look at some more options. I'm going to double click on the dimmer and come back to this page. Now we're going to look at the zone. The zone allows you to categorize groups of lights into different zones to be controlled together. For example, you may have two different rooms, and room 1 has 2 lights and room 2 has 2 lights. To create the zone, we click Add Zone, and then we can modify the name. Room 1, modify. And we can add another zone and change the name. Now we can put light 1 and 2 into zone 1. We do this by click on the zone and then the channel number, press left 2 times, and now we have 2 lights in the zone. Now we can put 3 and 4 into zone 2. As you can see, we have 2 zones with 2 lights in each. Now we can save it. The next setting is the scene setting. In the scene setting, we can set commands for the lights to change with one command. First, we choose the zone on the top. Now we have 12 scenes available. 1, we can give it a name. Let's call this All On. On the right side, we can change the intensity. By default, is 100%. If you want to see the scene in real time, you can click Output on Site. Let's make another scene, All Off, and let's change the intensity to 0. Let's make another scene, Reading, and this time let's make them 50%. And lastly, Watching TV. This time I would like light number 1 to be 30% and light number 2 to be 15%. As with all the other lighting and relay modules, scene 0 is always off. If you want to have a slow runtime, you can put some seconds, for example 2 seconds, in this column here. Now we've created 4 scenes. In order to recall the scenes from the keypad, we can create 4 scene buttons. I'm going to make my buttons single on buttons. We have already made these, we have already enabled the double key option. So let's call this All On, Reading, Watch TV, and All Off. Button ID 1, we're going to put scene. Zone number should be 1 and scene should be 1. Save. We're going to copy this, select button 3. This is our reading scene. Let's paste. And the reading scene is 3. Let's select button 5. Paste. The Watching TV is scene 4. Finally, 7. Let's paste. And the All Off can either be scene 2 or 0. The 0 is always off. Now we can save. Let's have a look at the keypad. This is the all on, and the lights go on. This is reading, the lights go down to 50%. This is watching TV, the lights are very low. Finally, the all off, the lights go off. Lastly, we want to put the image onto the DLP. Because we used the double button merge option, this time we want to use this option 80 by 48. This makes a large border. Let's create our words. All on, reading, watch TV, and all off. Now we just drag the graphics up and we are ready to click upload. Now we are creating the graphics in the DLP for these scenes. Let's have a look. There we have some nice scenes already. To finish looking in the dimmer, we've checked the basic, zone and the scene setting. Finally, we have the sequence setting. The sequence allows you to play through the scenes in a sequence. For example, you might want to make the lights go on and off automatically. Let's give this sequence a name, light show. Typically, the mode is forward mode. Let's make this running 4 times, and the number of steps will be 4. Always remember to press save. We can select scene, for example, all on, all off, reading, watching TV. And here we have minutes, seconds, and tenths of a second. So let's just put, 2 seconds. And press save. And let's press test to watch this happen. Now we have the lights automatically going through the sequence. It will run 4 times and then stop. If you want to program the button to trigger the sequence, you need to select an empty button, press single on, target setting, and select sequence. This is the zone number and this is the sequence number. This is how you program the sequence. This will trigger the sequence to start. If you want to make this a single on-off button, the first time you press it will start the sequence, the second time you press it will stop the sequence. Alternatively, you could create one button with a single on and another with a single off to start and stop the sequence. That's the end of the dimming module. This same technique can be applied to most of the lighting controllers. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.